We are back once again. Welcome or welcome back to the Fiercely Fulfilled Feminine YouTube channel. Oh my goodness, all things twin flames, sacred sexuality, divine intimacy. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh, today we're going to talk about the real the in and out self doubt. Hello. That can be a very common part of the twin flame spiritual ascension journey, especially if you've been in prolonged separation, in and out, you fell out after years, whatever that might be. This is for you. It's that part of you because it can be so challenging that wants to walk away again and again and again. And yet, if you get pulled back in, it's because you are meant to. So today, I am going to speak to why you doubt, question, waver like I have. Number two, I am going to give you a guideline, not tell you, because you are your own inner authority. I just would like to remind you of that. How to determine if possibly, well, if you're here, you have been activated and are in fact on a twin flame journey. You see, once you've been activated, it doesn't matter whether you're in union or not, whether you believe you're meant to come into physical reunion with this most recent activator or catalyst, whatever you want to call it, twin flame, okay, flame backed union, you're on the journey. Especially if you're here. I'm going to briefly share my story of my last in and out self doubt before a major breakthrough, which is why I'm back here today, popping those videos back up. And finally, number three, I am going to offer you some suggestions and ways as to how you can build more stable inner authority and discernment, strengthen your connection to God, and really strengthen your trust in this journey. So stay with me. Before I continue, I've got that 30-minute complimentary body reconnect session. Grab that link in the description. I've got a whole bunch of other offers. If you would like support and increase clarity and to be able to strengthen your own trust and inner authority on this journey, check it out below in the description. Okay, so clarity, clarity, clarity. Twin flame journey, very quickly. What is it? It is a journey. It is, I like to refer to it more as a path. It is a path of spiritual ascension, one of many ways that is often initiated, in fact, is initiated by what is known as a Kundalini awakening. Now, I'm going to speak to this again. There are those, especially who are devout Christians, even those who've been in the New Age and have flipped back to Christianity, believe that Kundalini is demonic in nature. I'm going to do a whole nother video about that. I did, like I said, part of the reason I'm here is to share my own vulnerability around my own in and out and self-doubt. So, yeah, it can feel downright demonic and challenging, and yet that doesn't mean that that's exactly what it is. Okay, so stay with me. Is your journey real? Do you believe it's been hijacked? Only you truly know. And like I said, I've wavered even on that. Are you making it up? Are you crazy? If you're here at this point, you're not crazy and you haven't been making it up. And I'm here to help you to start to remove more doubt and gain more and more trust so that it's actually flipping into you're more in union with your own solid clarity, trust, and faith in your ascension path. Woo! So that's an in and out that not a lot of people talk about. So yeah, where am I? I have some notes here. Helps me to stay focused. Here's a part of the TF journey that I don't think anyone has talked about, at least not publicly, that I have seen or witnessed. Oh, excuse me, one other person on YouTube called Sweet Spot Soul, and I'm not about competition. We're helping each other. So if you'd love to check her out, she does talk about navigating what is known as the fourth dimension, part of Harmonic Universe 2 and the astral realm. If you are here, you already know what that astral realm is about. For me, it is essentially all the disembodied pain, struggle, fear, hate, hurt, confusion, lack of worthiness, self-sabotaging, sabotaging, yeah, underserving beliefs. In fact, these are, it can actually, I say disembodied because they can actually create their own spirit. And it is both individual and collective in nature. So, depending on where you are on your path and what you're in the middle of transmuting, transfiguring, you are going to most likely confront your own shadow head on because it's part of what the divine feminine rising and awakening is about and why there's so much pushback in general and the belief that it's actually demonic. That's just the divine feminine doing her thing. Remember, the divine feminine is the creator, is the birther, and is also the destroyer. That's what rebirth is all about. And that aspect of it can make many very uncomfortable, and it can make the collective believe that this is a demonic path, that a Kundalini awakening is demonic, that Kundalini energy is demonic, and yet it is anything but. That being said, I wavered a little bit on that recently because I was allowing others to interfere. And that came from my own self-doubt, by the way. So let's see. I'm here to help you find your own clarity, take back your power, okay? Build that trust again. Have faith in your twin flame journey. Here's the key, though. Here's the key. If you are focused on the one, if you're looking for a timeline, if you're looking for certainty, I'm not for you. If you're here now, I'm guessing that you are beyond that aspect of the journey, that you've done a ton of inner shadow work, that you've done a ton of inner transformation, and you're like, okay, what's the next step? And you're questioning whether or not you are meant to come into physical reunion with this twin flame, or at least this sacred connection, which, by the way, I believe is always going to be there. Always going to be there. This whole thing, oh, false twin flame. I'm not having it. They're all sacred unions. That's part of the false teachings. There is only one sacred union out there. We're on a path. We're on a path of ascension, and there potentially are different people along that path of ascension that are going to help you to continue along that path of ascension, because that's ultimately what it is about. Okay? So let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm going to help you to block out all the naysayers. Let's face it, the twin flame spiritual ascension path can be very, very challenging. Now, do I believe that there could possibly be interference and influence that might actually hijack your true timeline and your ability to actually connect with an authentic soulmate or flame back connection? Yes, indeed, I do. Do I also believe that there is interception interference that can keep you from doubting your path and your connection, and whether or not there's the possibility of other connections unfolding? We call them sacred unions. And it's an energetic union as well. I'm going to drop, there's a monadic twin. I mean, we use the word monadic, my twin sister and I, just to kind of get people to come in and try to get a better understanding of it. It's not hierarchical. It's just about divine encoding. I'm going to drop that link. I'm going to link that to this video so you can see that one if you haven't seen it yet. To get all the noise from all the naysayers. Because here's the deal. You've got people who have left the New Age, going back to Christianity, and they're throwing everything out, the baby out with the bathwater. And I wanted to do the same thing. And I've been here a couple of times already, and I tend to be reactionary. I'm just going to be honest, very vulnerable. I make a post, I take down videos, and then I regret it. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's just my own self-doubt. And I allowed others to feed that self-doubt. That's all about me. I'm not a victim here. I allowed it. Yet that's a very normal, natural part of the path, because again, it does not look like anything you've ever experienced before, and it can be very challenging unless you follow some of the guidelines that I'm going to share at the end of this video. So please stay tuned with me. Okay. Some say twin flame is a matrix. It's a new age cage, that all these new age practices are. Here's what I'm going to let you know. We're here to harmonize, not just the divine masculine, divine feminine. We're here to harmonize the different paths and different ways of doing things. We're here to harmonize Eastern religion, Eastern thought, Western thought. And I've done a video on this. I'm not sure if I kept it. If it's out there, if not, I'll do another one. And yet we're looking for commonalities. See, there are different ways of perceiving, different ways of calling and experiencing that are literally the same thing. Like Christianity is literally, for the most part, sharing some aspects of other types of religions that are pretty much doing and saying the same thing, and yet there are also very distinct differences. I think in general, there is a lack of, no, it's not just knowledge, it's just a lack of experience. Okay. And that doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just everyone's going to bring their own unique experience and perspective to the table. Here's the thing. As you increase in your awareness and remembrance, because that's ultimately what it is about, you become that neutral observer. You're going to be able to step back and say, okay, I can understand why they might view it this way. And you're not going to take on those belief systems. You're actually going to remain neutral and respect and honor their path. That's the big difference. And that's when you know you are stepping more and more into the divine aspect of you, who you are, because it becomes more about neutrality. And the best way to dissolve duality is to come into a place of neutrality. Neutrality is about balance, harmonization of perceived polar opposites. Okay. So let's see. Ultimately, you get to choose your narrative. Okay. And stepping back and waiting till you feel lighter again. Like if you're in the middle of this great major shift and purging whatever it is, wait till it settles down, because I didn't. I've done it a couple of times like this, and I'm still learning. And that's okay. Don't shame yourself. Like I've flip-flopped. I've been in this liminal space, and I believe I'm finally coming out of it for like 3 months where boom, 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 all this information is coming in. And it's like, no, not yet, Ian, not yet. Oh, share this, but wait till you share this. And yeah. So if you've been a little reactionary, it's all good to go. You can always bring it back, okay, with a new energy. So let's see. Um, Here's a guideline as far as whether or not determine if you've been activated are in fact on a twin flame spiritual ascension path. Whether your twin flame has died, whether they're married, whether they're deep into addiction, whether you've been in prolonged separation, whether you've been in a lot of in and outs for years, even if you've been in union, physical union for years, and then you've just come out of it. Um, these are some guidelines to help you determine whether or not you may still be on what is known as a twin flame spiritual ascension path. Remember, it's not just about the one. It's not the person. It is the energy. It is the experience. It is the evolutionary growth. That is what this truly is all about. Number one is soul recognition. Soul recognition, I know, can have, there could be interference that is making that soul recognition happens. You've got to determine whether there has been interference or not, and it's actually someone else you're meant to be directed towards. Here's the thing. I'm going to remind you to choose your narrative. I am an experiencer, which means I have experienced abduction. I have memories of being in programs with this current flame-backed union is what I'm going to call it, this sacred connection where I believe we were intercepted and there was interference before we even came into physical incarnation in this particular dimensional reality. And there was a lot of induced trauma between us. Okay. Ultimately, I believe it was something to fuel our growth, because I also believe that there is nothing that is going to happen unless on some level at some time you allowed it and you contracted it. And you can end that contract at any time, by the way. So that's soul recognition. Number two, you felt an extreme, intense sexual energy. That would be the Kundalini activation. Three, you experienced what is known as a bubble up phase. No matter how brief or long it was, you experienced a phase where you just felt this deep, profound, unconditional love. So, in other words, that brings us to number four, deep connection. Number five, here's a key one. Whether it's been years or months, if you have grown, evolved, transformed, literally, you are not the same person. You are different in a very positive way. You have greater awareness, more expanded awareness. You feel more at peace. You feel more neutral, more compassionate, deeper love for yourself and for others. You've been set on a path where you're stepping into your purpose, where you're becoming more clear with your purpose, increasingly more self-aware, and hopefully more self-accountable. Very likely that this is, without question, a divine flame-backed sacred connection. And the last one, okay, if your life has been completely turned upside down, that's it, completely changed. Like, look back from the moment you had that soul recognition, you met this person, and where you are today. And if you're here, you're on a twin flame spiritual ascension path. I feel pretty confident about that, and yet that's not my place to determine. That's truly yours. I'm here only to guide you and empower you to make that, to look at that discernment and to be your own inner authority. Okay, so very briefly, before I share how you can build the trust and strengthen your connection to God and to this ascension path with full faith and trust, or at least increasing faith and trust is I'm going to share a little bit about my recent in and out and why I've wavered a little bit on this journey. So first of all, that's normal. It's going to happen, especially if there are extreme polarities. And if you've been in, like I said, if you've been in prolonged separation, there's been a lot of really, really intense challenges, which is there for all twin flames, yet there just seems to be something that's gone a little bit deeper for you. Yeah, it can be easy to do the in and out with the self-doubt. That's part of the push-pull dynamic, the push-pull on your own inner authority and faith in this journey. Number one, trauma bonding, codependency, love addiction, sex addiction, dismissive avoidant, anxious avoidant, the insecure attachment, all of this, behavioral psychology, neuroscience, biology, behavioral psychology, I already mentioned that. It's all connected. It's not just spiritual. And so it's real easy for anyone on the outside looking in, and even someone on the inside, to say, this is messed up. This is just another trauma bond. This is just another severe dismissive avoidant who's never going to come back. I'm still healing my love addiction, blah, blah, blah. This is about hormones and cortisol levels. And trust me, it absolutely is a part of it. Absolutely is a part of it. It's about nervous system dysregulation, the nervous system coherence. So yeah, it's real easy to say that's all that is and just to shrug it off and have other people say that you're absolutely crazy for thinking that that it's in a matrix, that you are being mind controlled, that that you're part of the new age and it's just part of the false ascension matrix and you just can't see it yet. And there are many out there who have never experienced the twin flame experience, and yet they're talking about it. There are some who have and recognize and believe that there is an inverted aspect, there's a counterfeit aspect to this path, and yet there's still that divine aspect to it. You have to determine which one it is for you. Again, you get to choose your narrative, because here's what I've noticed. Even if, and this applies to a lot of different circumstances in life, like COVID, right? Even though it's something that seems like it's like demonically introduced, at least if that's your narrative, it is something that is actually stimulating or fueling intense spiritual growth and uniting and bringing people together and getting people to step back into their corners and recognizing, oh my God, what's going on here? Look at the way I'm acting. What is it about me that's causing me to respond or react in this situation? Okay, I think COVID taught us a lot. And that's part of what the TF Ascension journey is as well. It's real easy for videos to pop up, especially when you're doubting yourself, like it did for me. Oh my God, it's just part of the new age cage. Like it's a trauma bond. Back up. There's been interference and influence. Your poltergeist activity, the psychic attacks, the spiritual warfare. Those are demons. Hey, a year ago, I went through intense psychic attacks, spiritual warfare, poltergeist activity, physical, like in this real reality, and spiritually, mentally. It was emotional chaos. It was scary. I am not going to lie. And I walked away from the path because of it. Where that interference came through, I'm going to explain that right now. Because and I might have alluded to that before and I didn't get to it yet, but that's okay. I'm here now. I'm just letting it flow. The astral realm, I already mentioned what that's about. At some point on this journey, and you'll come back to it again and again, I'm going to explain why it can really intensify it before a major breakthrough. You, excuse me, are going to experience periodic psychic attacks. That's not an attack on you. Those are your own shadows, literally, that are popping up so that you can confront them and you can heal. Like I said, that's the role of the divine feminine, which is why there is such a kickback in the collective right now. The collective humanity is like, oh my God, this doesn't feel good. This seems demonic. Oh my goodness, all these divine feminines and Kundalini. Kundalini energy is sexual energy. That is divine feminine energy, and it's freaking dang fiery, transformative. It'll freaking knock your socks off. It's going to expose all your demons. It's like nuclear energy when it comes to spiritual ascension. You cannot play with it without knowing what you're doing and without being guided and really truly understanding what it's about. And that's why it doesn't make sense to try to go this journey alone. That's why you don't want to just seek out tarot card readers and psychics and astrologists, because to me, at some point, especially if you're here now, you no longer need that because you realize it can actually affect your timeline and be part of predictive programming that'll get you to where you do not want to continue. Because no one, not even you, can predict your future. Only God, God of the Most High, knows where you're going, and it's the perfect path for you. It's the uncertainty that can feel uncomfortable, and there's a lot of it. There's a lot of uncertainty on this path. So here's the thing, you're in that, there's going to be a point, and I'm calling it the eye of the needle. And Sweet Spot Soul mentions this on her YouTube journal. And this made YouTube channel. Okay, let's get that right. And it's funny, like I kept hearing eye of the needle, eye of the needle, eye of the needle, right? And then all of a sudden she popped up and she talked about trying to elevate beyond 5D. Beyond 4D, and trying to make your way into the top echelon of frequencies, vibrational frequencies of harmonic universe 2, and then being set up to get into, of course, harmonic universe 3. Now, because it's the astral realm and it's right above 3D, it is one of the most challenging aspects of the journey. And whether you are in physical union or not, or have it in physical union or not, that is where you meet the deepest darkness, is at that eye of the needle. And so it gets very narrow. Let's call it a stargate. It gets very, very narrow at this point. So it's all that dark energy blowing up, wanting to, listen, the line at heaven's gate that's saying, okay, oh no, here we are. Here's your demons, all your doubts, confusion, all your pain, rejection wounds, abandonment. We're just going to like blow up in your faces, so it seems. And so if you can stay with it and you have the awareness of what's happening, you're actually going to, boom, come out on the other end. And it's like being through this like intense storm on sea, the perfect storm. You have high waves coming everywhere, and the wind and the rain. And then before you know it, the rain stops, the wind stops, comes to a complete lull, gone. And then the sun comes out and it's all peaceful and calm again. Okay, it's not just a drizzle. It's an intense storm. It's just what it is. And I went through that last summer. And I'm not going to say I haven't still had some challenges, but nothing like last summer. And so I have been guided to like build these programs, build my own website, do ABC, blah, blah, blah. And it's been so powerful. And then what happened recently is I allowed my own self-doubt to start to sabotage myself. And I'm not going to feel shame for that because I'm real big on letting go of shame. We're not, I'm doing a whole 40 detox on letting go of shame. So we don't need more shame, especially if you've been through sexual trauma. You do not need to add shame to your TF journey. So let's see. How is it then that you can, like I said, so this is the last part. How can you begin to build greater faith in your journey? And I just shared with you, first of all, it's knowledge, it's awareness. I just shared with you the eye of the needle and what is really happening. Okay? That is, you are not being attacked by real, like, it'll seem that way. Oh, well, these demons can seem awfully real. They're a way to get them away from you. And there is a way through it. And sometimes the only way through it is to let it keep coming until it's done. And that's just like being on the front lines of a battle and you just got to get through it. And you just got to get through it. I know that's a tough one. And yet I've been there. I've been there in an extreme way. And I'm not going to share the details with you. Yet if I can get through it and have that experience, I'm here to tell you. Okay. So yeah. All right. So number one, like I said, is the awareness. Number two, when it starts to happen, step back, pause, remind you that you're going through the eye of the needle, ask for support, reach out to God, God of the Most High, ask for the support. If you're within a community, ask for support. Don't react. Don't react and assume that, oh my God, I've been duped, I've been fooled like I did, I didn't have those kind of attacks recently. Step back, breathe into it. Just breathe into it. They're not real. They may seem real. Breathe into it. Okay? And there's a lot of different ways that you can manage that. I'm not going to get into that today. Number two, when does your clarity or divine wisdom arrive? And it can arrive within the midst of chaos. Likely it's going to arrive once the chaos starts to settle. And then you start to feel the peace again. Okay. So is it your ego, your impatience, or is it divine in nature? You'll know if you've allowed that calmness to return, whether it's divine in nature or not. And like I said, I haven't been great about allowing that calmness to return first. Okay. Because for me, it showed up as really being feverish, having cold symptoms, just like a lot of symptoms. And that happens. I'm like, okay, there's something more and major that's moving through. I just moved to southern France a couple of weeks ago. Like, chill out, Ian. Let it recalibrate itself. Number three, avoid all tarot card readings, psychic readings, astrological readings. Don't, because what you're looking for is certainty, and that comes from fear. What's going on here? Or don't even, I would say not even to reach out and ask for an exorcism, because I've tried that too. Okay, because I mean, you can if you want, yet you are in a way giving away your power. And if you're able to ride it, those demons are going to go away because that's part of your transfiguration. Those are, like I said, it's just stuff that's being released. It's the shadow that's being released. Ultimately, it's all one. We're not just going to send them into the abyss, although there probably is a frequency where there is an abyss, to which Christians refer to, and that's more like a frequency. And then when you're ready to, and they're probably in the abyss, and they come so that you can integrate them. A lot of Christians, devout Christians, or evangelistic type of Christians will say, oh, why would you want to embody? Aren't you like embodying demons? No, you're not. You're integrating them. They're not separate. Nothing is truly separate. That's an illusion. And so it's just different perspectives. Like I can see the perspective of these evangelistic Christians and even the ones who don't identify with any religion, because I don't really either, why they might take that perspective. And that's just a lack of experience and a lack of understanding and awareness. And it comes from fear. Ultimately, it comes from fear. Um, so yeah, I would say stay away from all that because it can um, delay your ability to integrate. It can delay your ability to, it can put you on a different timeline. Ultimately, you have your own narrative. Choose it. It can take you away from your own inner authority. And I've learned that. And it's part, only if it's positive, please. Thank you. Only if it's part of the journey. Thank you. See, there's my power. There's my sovereignty. Um, it's part of the journey. So this is why I don't shame anybody for saying, oh, I got a psychic reading. I'm going to do a tarot card reading. Oh, I just met with an astrologer today. I don't shame anyone. There are some who say that when you partake in these practices, that you're inviting in demons. What if you're inviting in your demons or the demons that are showing you what you are repressing? I'm just saying you choose the narrative. Okay? These are tools on the journey that eventually you don't need anymore. And you're going to realize they're not serving you. Okay? Don't shame yourself if you still do that or if you've done that, like I have in the past. Okay. Number 4, honestly, if you're here now at this point on your journey, avoid all twin flame Facebook groups. Avoid them altogether. These open groups, they tend to have too many members. They're not properly monitored, in my personal opinion. And there are a lot of comments. There are a lot of assumptions as far as how one may believe the journey unfolds and not. It's very polarized in some situations. There's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of shame. This is the way it is, blah, blah, blah. You got to do this. You got to do that. Like there's a formula or something and a right or wrong way to do it. And it's just not a healthy environment as far as I'm concerned. So if that's what you want to fuel you, don't. Okay. I have gone in there just as a diagnostic, and I'm at the point at this to see where people are on the TF journey. So that may be okay. Yet I'm at the point where it's like, I'm done. I'm done. Okay. It's just not something that is going to support me, and it may not be something likely to support you at this point on your journey. Number 5, whenever you're watching videos, and especially like videos that might mock the twin flame experience, that look at it as part of the New Age cage, or like evangelistic Christians in particular. I watch all these videos. I always watch videos, quote unquote, of those who have opposing views or those who don't necessarily support my particular path and what I'm aware of through my own inner authority. I listen. And some of it resonates, and other parts are just big red flags. So be very, very discerning. So this is what you want to look for. Give it a listen if it resonates, or just be open. Okay, what does this person have to say? This is an ex-witch who now went back to Christianity and Jesus Christ. This is an ex-sex worker who went back to Christianity and Jesus Christ. This is somebody who is talking on the controlled opposition, but as far as the New Age and Christianity, and that God isn't real and blah, blah, blah. And I listen to all of them. I don't agree with all of it, yet it gives me information. And I'm not saying that some of it doesn't resonate, yet the key is discernment. Like I said, do not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Do not let others pull you away from your true inner knowing and to lose doubt and faith in yourself and your own spiritual ascension. Okay. Another thing, so check for red flags. I'm going to give you an example. One woman said that, I mean, she had been doing Tantra, and I do Tantra, and it's a big part of what I teach my clients. And she said that it became so demonic that she ended up on the street one day and was shaking and disassociated from her body. And it was very, very scary. And then she was having other situations. She finally reached out to God for help. I'm all there for God. And she attributed that to the Kundalini energy being demonic and that tantric practices were demonic. And yet, when you look at the context of what she shared, because this is what I'm basing it on, she was involved in some really, really heavy sex magic, ritualistic black magic practices. She was self-pleasuring and having sex in front of idols that she brought demons into. Okay. And here's the thing. This person who was helping her with the tantric practice, which does heal, it's a powerful healing, not modality. Can't think of the word. Anyways, she, first of all, this woman might not have been operating with integrity. I don't know that. More likely, well, first of all, not operating from integrity based on where this woman was at this time. The other aspect is not truly understanding the power of the Kundalini energy, having gone from years of sex work, years of false empowerment, years of black magic, of sex magic and idol worship, to all of a sudden working with Kundalini energy. That can be very dangerous because, like I've said, Kundalini energy is literally like nuclear energy. You got to know what you're doing with it. It can either, like nuclear energy, is either going to power an entire city and surrounding area, or it can destroy. Fortunately, we haven't had that, but I'm thinking of even the A bomb. Okay, that wasn't nuclear power, but like you've got to know what you're doing with the energy. This is a very powerful energy of transformation, and you've got to know what you're doing with it. By the way, there are those Christians who have experienced Kundalini awakenings, but they don't call it that. So just saying, I felt like I needed to put that in there because I do work with Tantra. I do work a lot with the Kundalini energy, which is feminine energy, which is Shakti energy, which is transformational, transformative energy, which is the energy of shedding, 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 and elevating into your greater awareness and remembrance. That's what it is. Okay, what else? Check their tone. Do they seem angry, judgmental? Do they mock who or what they're talking about? That's somebody who's operating from fear. They're operating from superiority. They're operating from judgment. Those are all lower frequency intentions. It's not about integrity. It's about I'm right and you're wrong. That is spiritual superiority. And you can spot that in a nanosecond just by their tone, the way they're showing up, the words that they use, the phrases, the comments, the remarks. And here's another one. If it is someone online who is doing the bidding for the 3D matrix, trust me, they will have a lot of views and they will have a lot of followers. So that's something to look out for as well. The next one, have they had your experience? Is this somebody speaking to, for example, the alien love bite? Is this someone who's speaking to an experiencer who's been abducted and has clear memories? Is this somebody who's been on the twin flame path? Are they talking about it from firsthand experience or not? And that's important to know as well. And let's see what else. Do they complain? There's one gentleman on there, like I said, I do agree with some of what he says, and I'm not going to mention his name because I don't think he's going to support this community at all. He's like, like someone asked how's his day, and he was like, oh, it's fucking nuts in the matrix here, and I'm just trying to survive. Like, that's a victim mentality. That is a victim mentality, as if somebody or something else has control over your life. And I don't subscribe to that. It's not my narrative. Okay. Okay. Here's the next thing I would suggest that you can do. Like I said, I'm coming back to building your trust and your faith in the journey, and strengthening your inner knowledge and your inner authority and your connection to God, the Most High, the God source, the God essence is what I call it. Join a community, not a Facebook group. Seriously, a community. And be very selective, be very discerning about whether or not that community is truly for you. In other words, at one point, like I went like months without a coach. I went months without a community, and I was like, "Oh my God, I can't do this on my own," which you can, by the way. It's not recommended by me anyways. And so an opportunity came up, and then I was like, I reacted. I came up with the money. I put down the money to join the community, and then I was like, I'm not feeling it. And so I invested the money. It was no return. And I was like, okay. And I did learn something from it. But so I was like, I just let it go. It wasn't for me. And so it would be another couple of months before the right community came up for me. And I was like, and even then I doubted it. And I was like, and I'm looking at the messaging, who's it for? I'm feeling the energy of this person in their videos. And I was like, once I let the dust settle, I was like, this is the one. This is the one. I could feel into the energy, the integrity, the kindness, the neutrality, and the experience that this woman has had. The fact that she was looking at both spirituality and science, and melding those together. The fact that it was just, yeah. And so you want to be able to join a community who can like support your greater understanding of the path from someone who's a little bit farther along in the path, or further along rather, and someone who is not there to tell you, to give you authority, is not there to tell you what's happening in your own journey. You're there to discern for yourself. They're just providing the frequency container, and you get to choose to be a part of not. So I would say invest in a community. You can also invest in a coach, somebody who's on the path, somebody who's experienced certain aspects of the path in the journey, and can offer you that one-on-one insight, and can offer you the ability to empower you to, maybe it's as simple as recognizing your own patterns, getting you just to maybe reframe some of your perspectives and to help build your faith. You could call it a Hecate. A Hecate is essentially someone else on the journey who's there to support you. Again, because you don't have to and shouldn't really do it alone, especially with the challenges like I've just mentioned. So, yeah, that's where we're at. And so, I do one-on-one coaching. If you want to check that out, Fiercely Fulfilled Feminine, my website is down there in the description. Also, I offer like I already mentioned, complimentary 30-minute body reconnect session as the first step of what I call the reclaim process, where you literally step into your sexual sovereignty and you embody your true power through the healthy aspect of your sexual energy. Yes, it's real to the real, good to go, good to go. Sexual energy is not demonic. It's only a matter of perspective and a lack of awareness of how to work with that sexual energy. Like I said, it's like nuclear energy. It's powerful. You got to know what you're doing. Okay? There it is. You'll have a beautiful one. That's it for now. I'm back. Good to go, good to go, good to go, good to go. Any questions, drop them in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, share. Okay? Because I'm sure there are others who would benefit from this. I'll be back real soon. Much love.